What is going on, everybody? It's Jay Coffee Talk back with some news. Now, listen, guys, we all know the wicked murderer, the convicted murderer, Derek Chauvin, is awaiting sentencing. The world, we're all sitting back waiting to see what he gets hit with. I'm not really going to get all into that, although I will say I do hope he gets slayed, given the maximum possible time that they can give him. And the other three officers are still facing their charges as well. That's still an ongoing process. But I don't know if you guys heard, the feds came out to play and decided we're gonna hold you guys further accountable, and they've been hit with some Fed charges, you guys. Now hit the comments, everyone. What do you guys think about this? This is big news here. As I've stated from the beginning, I'm not an anti-police person. I'm not like a pro-police person. As I always put out there, in a lot of situations, things turn into people arguing about, like, people can't just use common sense and see, that there is indeed, police off. Like, everyone wants to point out about what a person may have done wrong or not. Like, that means that if an individual deserved to lose their life or not, which is like absolutely ludicrous. People don't want to, face the facts that there are police officers, that sign up to, bully people and abuse power and things of that nature. You know what I mean? Like, wake up. Let's be honest. But I'm going to share some of the press release with you guys. It says a federal grand jury on Friday indicted former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin and three other former officers on charges of violating George Floyd's civil rights last year during the arrest that caused his death, a move that could offer another measure of accountability in a case that sparked nationwide protests over abusive policing. And that's what it is, guys. Abusive policing, okay? People want to, once again, rest in peace, George Floyd. I get sick of even mentioning these kind of arguments that people put out there, what a person may or may not have done. As I stated, how people actually try to say, oh, well, a person, deserves to lose their life. Like, if you are a police officer, your job is to serve and protect, or protect and serve, or whatever the case may be. You're supposed to be able to arrest people without killing people. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a gunfight. Someone didn't open fire on the police. Like, if you can't do the job without killing people, then you shouldn't be doing the job. And once again, accountability. Officers violating civil rights, officers hurting and abusing people need to be held accountable. And I really feel like if officers start being held accountable on the regular and getting hit with prison bids and stuff, other officers will be deterred from trying to do that BS. A lot of police who do, violate people, you know what I'm saying, and do hurt and kill people, abuse their power and abuse citizens and things, they don't fear it. They feel that they'll be able to get away with it and they won't be held accountable criminally or with their job, and they'll just continue on. Or, if worst case scenario, move a couple counties over and start doing the same thing over there, Now, from my understanding, two of the three officers were, charged. Chauvin was charged, and then two of the other three officers were charged for, failing to intervene. But all of them were charged because they didn't provide George Floyd any medical care, And that's another thing, too, when people kept throwing drugs out, you know what I mean? Like, If that's the case, if people felt that, why was like Narcan never administered or anything? I'm not even going to get all back into it. They killed George Floyd. I do want to point out, though, those officers, not Chauvin, obviously, as we know, is convicted of murder and he's in jail regardless. But J. Alexander Ewing, Thomas Lane, and Thao all bailed out because they were bailed out on their state charges, and they bailed out on the Fed case also for $25,000 apiece. And listen, when the feds come out to play with these kind of charges, I don't know the guidelines exactly behind what they're charged with at the moment, but those numbers are up there. You know what I mean? Watch them all start crying and pleading with the feds to tell on each other and stuff. You know what I mean? But listen to this, you guys. Derek Chauvin was also hit with other federal charges that only he got hit with, unrelated to George Floyd, for a whole nother incident in 2017. Listen to this, guys. Chauvin was also charged in a separate indictment related to an incident in which he allegedly used unreasonable force on a Minneapolis 14-year-old in September of 2017, the Justice Department said in a statement Friday. The first count of that indictment says Chauvin held the teenager by the throat and struck the teenager multiple times in the head with a flashlight. A second count says he held his knee on the neck and upper back of the teenager even after the teenager was lying prone, handcuffed, and unresisting, also resulting in bodily injury. So did you hear that, guys? When he was cuffed, prone on the ground, he pressed his knee into his neck and back. He choked the kid, a 14-year-old kid, choked him and busted him in the head with the police flashlight a bunch of times. Chauvin, you're a piece of garbage, man, and you are going to rot in prison. And what does everyone think about this? Does anyone out there that didn't have any kind of faith in change happening, does the Fed stepping in here and on top of the state conviction and everything going on with that, hitting these officers with these federal charges for violating civil rights and, you know, this other horrible incident? You hear this is a 14-year-old kid that Chauvin did this to, you know what I mean? Like, does this give you guys any more faith that change can happen? Does anyone feel like this will deter other police officers from doing things of this nature? Or do you feel it's only because, you know, like the feds feel do you guys feel like the feds feel like they just had to do it? Or do you feel like they, you know, truly were like, things have to change? I don't know. I think that this could be big to stop abusive policing. Now, George Floyd's family, once again, rest in peace, George Floyd. And, you know, the attorney, they put out a statement saying that they are encouraged by these charges and eager to see continued justice in the historic case that will impact Black citizens and all Americans for generations to come. And guys, what do you think? Do you think that the feds were waiting back and seeing what happened as far as with the trial as this, you know, Chauvin was convicted, what was it now, a couple weeks ago? Or some people, you know, it's being theorized and reported that the feds had a backup plan, that if something as far as in the trial, the state case, you know, something, a mistrial or for whatever reason, justice wasn't going to happen, the feds were going to step in and say, nah, man, not that easy, Chauvin, you demon, get over here. Come face this federal justice system. What do you guys think? You know, hit the comments, as well as with everything else we touched on in this video. If you're new to the channel, guys, this is Jay Coffee Talk. We talk music, news, sports, all kinds of stuff on the channel. It's very interactive. I want to hear what you guys got to say. I'm, you know, always in the comments. Let's talk. Let's discuss what's going on here. But real quick before I close this out, I just want to, as I was you know, about to make this video, in my comments on a video I had made a couple weeks back when Chauvin, you know, the verdict was coming back guilty, someone left a comment saying, let's start a new religion praising criminals or something like that. And they said something about stop resisting. And guys, that's what I mean. Like, do you see how much people don't want change, or how brainwashed a lot of people are, where they feel like people just can't have common sense and just have a discussion and truly look at a situation? Like, people are so afraid to hold police officers accountable that, or they're just brainwashed to feel that way. Like, obviously, you know, there is authority positions and things like that in society, but I mean, wake up, people. If you just, you know, never want to call something wrong when it's wrong, like, I mean, look at some of the things, wicked things that have happened in history, you know, like, you start just saying whatever's okay. Watch the wickedness grow and the horrible, even more horrible things that will happen that then have already happened. Whether how anyone, once again, rest in peace, George Floyd, but whether how anyone feels about George Floyd, you know, what he did in his life or whatever, like, guys, You are going to sit here and tell me that you truly believe that he deserved to be killed. Come on, people, wake up. It's wild, guys. A lot of people are just conditioned in very twisted ways. You know what I mean? So I'll leave that at that. Let's break it down. R.I.P. George Floyd. Chauvin, have fun. Have fun rotting away in prison. Did you guys hear that? The 14-year-old beat him in the head with the flashlight, strangled him, and put his knee in his neck and in his back. This was a guy that you saw as soon as all this happened. His wife knew who he was. She was like, I'm out of here. I'm out of here. So comment. Let's talk about it. Does this change your view on things? Do you think things are changing? Let's talk about it all. Sub to the channel. Hit the notification bell. Guys, I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, everyone. And once again, to any of my subscribers who've been around, I don't know if you caught my last video that I did, but I have a family member in the hospital. So that's why the content has been kind of slowing down. But thank you for watching. I'm out of here. Peace.